welcome. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to FL Studio, which is a very powerful digital audio workstation. It is a very powerful tool used by music producers all around the world. It is a full-featured music production environment that is capable of doing multi-track audio recording, sequencing, and mixing. You will need to download the installer from the FL Studio website. You can download a free demo version which will have some restrictions but will be fine for educational purposes and also for the purpose of this tutorial. The vendor for FL Studio is ImageLine. Let us now go to the ImageLine website. So the website is imageline.com. This is the home page of their website. If you click FL Studio and select Compare Editions, you will see the various editions for professional users. There are 4 main versions in various price ranges, ranging from 143 Aussie dollars for the fruity version, which is the basic version, to 673 Aussie dollars for the all plug-ins version. If you are going to venture into professional music production, I will recommend you to go with the producer edition, which is 289 Aussie dollars at the time of recording. For the purposes of this tutorial, you will need to download the free demo version. To do so, click where it says try for free. The demo version will have some restrictions, but that won't stop you from following and learning these tutorials. You will be able to create music, but the main restriction is once you save your project, you won't be able to open it again. But for educational purposes, that's not a problem. But if you are going to be recording music professionally, then you need to choose one of the paid versions. You'll find there are 2 main operating systems that they support, which is Windows and Mac OS. You'll be surprised, I am using Linux, but I'm running the Windows version on Linux using Wine. So if you have a Linux system, you need to install Wine and download the Windows version and install it. I'm not going to go through with you the installation process because it is very easy. Just download and follow the prompts. Once you have the system ready, you can follow through the tutorial. Before you start your download, I've got a simple request for you. If you can like this video, share with your friends, and also hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss out on our future tutorials. Now it's time to open your brand new FL Studio system. You can either open from a shortcut on a desktop. So you see there I've got a shortcut FL Studio, or in my case I can go to Linux starting menu and I go to Wine. Under Wine I will have my FL Studio. So if I open the system, okay, so that's my system there. When you open the system for the first time, it looks very intimidating. We're going to go through the user interface and explain the various controls and the tools that are available to you in FL Studio. And the version of FL Studio that I'm using is the latest version at the time of recording, which is FL Studio 20. Let's look at this. I'm going to use this image. It's from ImageLine as well, but I'm going to use this to just explain the interface. So when you look at the interface, there are various sections. So you have the browser section, where you can see all your plugins, your presets, and various other folders that are available to you in terms of your projects. You also have a channel rack. So in the channel rack, this is where you can add some instruments and make some patterns for your music production. You also have a mixer. So in a mixer, this is where you can send some audio tracks and manipulate them to make them sound good or better. There are various tools that are available there in the mixer that you can also use. Then you also have the piano roll. In the piano roll, this is where it's a step sequencer where you can make your music by adding some notes in there, following a progression that you are going to be using. Then you also have a playlist when you are now making a song using whatever patterns that you have created in the channel rack or in the piano roll. Now you're adding them into the playlist to make a song. So sometimes when you're in FL Studio and you don't know what something is, we have here, it's called the hint panel. You see the hint panel? If I scroll and over here, you see it says song pattern mode. What does this mean? It means if I'm on the PAT, which is the pattern mode, it will play whatever my pattern that I'm working on. But if I go to the song mode, it will go to the song area and it will start playing whatever I have on the song here. So as you are making your song, you can create your patterns, add the patterns to the song, and test and play them in different times. So I can play my pattern, play my song, play my pattern, play my song, and this is the play button. Okay, so now let's just make a simple using the channel rec. Normally when you open for the first time, you have the following. You have got a kick, a clap, a hi-hat, and a snare. So these are drums. These are drums, and you can either just click like that. I do this. Okay, I'm just doing this randomly, right? And if I go to pattern and I play, see, I'm playing my pattern, okay, which is the kick. Now let's add a clap. Okay, now you can add hi-hats. So you can add like that, or you can go here and say fill each 2 steps. Then you can add a snare as well, and you can go and fill 4 steps. If you want to remove, you can just right click and left click to add. So right click will remove, left click will add. So I can stop playing there, then I can play or stop. So if I go here, it will show me this one is my metronome, wait for input, countdown before recording. You see everything you can see on the hint panel. So you just hover wherever you are, then it will show you on the hint panel. Like here, this is the tempo. So now that I've added my drums, I can now get this pattern onto my song. So all I need to do is just to drag. Okay, so now if I change this to song and play, you see now my song is playing the drums. Okay, then I need to create another pattern. So this is pattern 1. Then if I go to pattern number 2, all right, so pattern number 2, okay, I need to give it a name. So this is melody, all right, and I'll give it a color. So it's good to give it a color because it's more like it's easier for you to identify, and also. So now my melody, I know it's in that color. So now I'm going to stop playing my song and I'm gonna go back to the pattern. So on my pattern, as you can see, it's blank, but if I go here, this pattern is that pattern that I've put in there. Then I can go to the melody and I start working on the melody. I start working on the lead guitar, I start working on the other guitar, and everything I'm adding onto these tracks here. I can have as many tracks, I can have the audio track, and at the end of the day, I've got my song. So today I just want you to create the drums. Just put your own sequence, don't copy what I did. Just do your own sequence here and add it to the song. That's it for today. Then in the next lesson, we're going to create some melodies. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, even if you are not well versed in music theory. It helps if you're good with music theory, if you know your notes, which progression sound good. But there are some tools in this system that you can use even if you are not well versed in music theory. You just need to appreciate a little bit of the music theory. It will help a lot. But even if you are not well versed in music theory, you can make good music. Okay, so guys, that's all for this lesson. Let's meet in the next lesson. And please share, like, subscribe. Cheers.